Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome to Touching You Talk Show. I am Elder Sheila, and I have a very special guest with me in the person of Officer John Johnson. How are you today, sir?
Oh, I'm doing great. Can't complain.
Good. so
Can't
I often,
complain.
I often ask my guests, how long have we known each other? How long have you been doing
Ah,
the Day Spring?
what's this? Since '06,
Okay.
almost 20 years. Almost 20
Okay,
years.
well, you haven't been knowing me
Yeah.
that long. I've been there
No.
probably about 16, almost 17 years. So, yeah, it's been that long.
Mhm.
And it is such a blessing to know you.
Thank
So, today we want to talk about the relationship between the community and the police officer and how we can build a healthy relationship and connection with one another. We just need to know how to communicate with each other.
you.
And
Right.
that and
Right.
I believe that oftentimes when things happen it's because there's number one a lack of communication, and then there's a spirit of fear on both parts. So
Yeah.
we're just going to talk, just kind of pick your brain and let you give us some best practices. So how about that today?
No, that'll work.
Okay. All
I'll
right.
do
So
my
first,
best.
okay, so I did prepare some questions. So the first thing I want to ask you, can you share what motivated you to become a police officer?
Just a little background on me. I was in the military. When I graduated school, I went to the military for 10 years, and the police always been on my radar. That was something I always wanted to do. I always wanted to pursue that after the military. And so after I spent my 10 years in the military, oh, let me just say this first. Well, I just want to say first, thank you for having me. You've been trying to do this for a while. I know my wife's done it. She's a big supporter of yours. And,
Yeah.
and, I'm grateful for that. And, we've been trying to connect, I don't know, about a couple of years. And you finally got
Right,
me,
right.
so, but, like I say, I was, I went in the military right after high school. I spent 10 years in the Navy. Um, and like I say, this was always on my radar. And, um, after we, after I finished my stint in the military, me and my family, we moved to South Carolina, and, then we end up moving to Texas. And fortunately, I was diagnosed with cancer. And so it's a little hard to talk about, but
Look at
I'll
you.
make it through.
All healed and made whole, huh?
Yeah, yeah. So, I kind of had felt that was on the burner,
Hmm.
but, God prevailed. And that was back in 96. And then uh, 2001, I became certified peace officer for the state of Texas. That's when I started my career in Alto, little place up in East Texas. Then worked at Angelina County Sheriff Department for a little bit. Then I moved on to Lufkin PD, and I worked there for a few years. I left. Then I moved to Indiana. I came back to Lufkin PD, and I had applied here in Dallas, and I got the call. And but by that time, I had went back to Lufkin, and they called me and asked me was I still interested. Said yeah. So hey, I'm here now. I just recently made 20 years last month with DFW Police Department.
Nice.
So that's kind of been my little history getting it started. I really can't say what motivated me. It was just something that I think that was just kind of I always wanted to do, and I was always intrigued by the police officer, and not by what they do, arresting. Some people like the thrill of it, go get it and all that stuff there. But I think more or less for me, I take a little different approach, and it was something that I felt like I can help people at, and so that's I think what kind of drew me in, helping people, seeing people, and, talking and see what I can do to help them, make their life a little better, So that's kind of I think what kind of drew me in. I don't, I just can't really pinpoint what motivating me to say, hey, this is what I want to do. You know, some people say, this is what I want to do since I was a little kid, you know, but
Mhm.
that wasn't the way it worked out. So, you know, but I'm still here doing it. And I love it, you
Absolutely.
know.
20 years is a long time to be anywhere.
That's just 20 years at DFW, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So
So,
you've seen a lot. You've seen people come and go, huh?
yeah, I have. Yes, I have.
So let me ask you this. What does protect and serve mean to you personally?
Question was, what does protect and serve mean to me? And so, you know, I have my own theories, but what I was reading about protect and serve, we always, and it means exactly protect. They are expected to keep people safe, prevent crime, respond to emergencies, and defend the public from harm. That's what protect means. Serve means they are meant to help the community, assist citizens, uphold rights, provide aid in crisis, and act in the public best interest. And I looked at that and I say, that's exactly what it means to me. You know, I'm protecting those that maybe can't defend for themselves. I'm protecting their homes. I'm protecting their property. You know, those are things that some people can't do for themselves, and that's what the public depend on us to do for them when they're away or wherever they might leave their property. They want us to be able to protect that from somebody doing something to it, and then serving the community. I'm here to help people, and that's what I look at. You know, serving the community, help when it's crisis that people call us when there might be a situation, even if it's simple as a flat tire. Who they call? They call the police. They call the police, or they call maybe their husband or whoever. They call us. I don't know how many times we get that call. Hey, can you help somebody with their tire or whatever? That's a crisis to some people. It might seem simple, but it's a crisis to some people. You know, I've seen people just panic. Hey, we're gonna get it taken care of. You know, so those things that exactly what my job detail and what it means to me to do all those things for people, you know, in situation when we see that there's storms or floods and whatever. Can we stop the flood? No, but we can help people get to safety. We provide, you know, help them get to a shelter or whatever situation is. That's that's something we serve the people with. So those things that it say protect and serve, that's exactly what it means to me. You know, so that kind of sums it up right
That's
there.
good. That's good. So, how do you want the community to feel when they see a police officer?
Um, I really want them to feel happy when they see us, that they see us in their neighborhoods, they see us come in the store or wherever they see us and they feel like, oh, that's a level of comfort. Hey, I see this police all the time driving my neighborhood. Hey, I like that because he's here watching my house when I'm gone, watching our streets at night, the daytime. They coming in the place of business. You know, people like for us to come in their stores and stuff like that because they feel like when people see, oh, police is always here, my store. I'm not gonna try to steal nothing out of there because they always here or wherever, especially businesses, you know. So they like that. So I want people to feel safe and happy when they see us to say, hey, it might have been something oh, look at the police. I can ask him, you know. So I don't want people to be afraid. I want them to be excited when they see us, you know, because that's what I'm there. I'm not there to cause no harm or whatever. I'm there to, you know, just like you are. Regular people, hey, we go in to eat just like regular people. So people feel a level of comfort, and that's what I want them to feel when they see us.
Okay. All right. All right. So, what are some of the ways officers are trained to de escalate situations?
Well, there's many ways that you know we go through de-escalation training. Um, I say that in my level of way, what I try to do is when I go to maybe some type of irate call or whatever. My way first, hey, if I had to separate, let me listen. Listen first. Listen to what the people say because a lot of times people they already up here and they want you to listen to them first, you know. And that's something I learned to just listen and then let me speak calmly to them. Say, okay, this is what we need to do. This is the situation we have here, and being able to talk, say, everybody just calm down. I'm gonna listen to both sides. You know, you tell me your story, and I repeat it back. Okay, you say this is exactly what, so they'll know, hey, he was listening to what I said, you know. I might not agree with everything, but I was listening, and then I'm gonna take whatever approach I need to make sure the approach is within my guidelines of what I can do by the law, or whatever the situation is. And like I say, it's just a level of learning how to talk to people. Not going up there already. What's going on? You know all that hyped up. Then they get hyped up. You're not gonna resolve nothing. So it's they tell us we do these drills, and I'm a trainer in my department, and we have what we call we have like this big screen, the TI machine, and we just did some training. We got a new machine, and it's a big screen, and we go on there. We got hundreds of scenarios, and we pick scenarios like this last one we just did. We run everybody through. We pick scenarios where it's no violence. How are they going to come in and de-escalate the situation? How are the officers going to act? And they have to talk to the screen without the screen talking back. So we kind of do some training like that to show officers how to do it. And after that, after we show them what they did, we can play it back and we debrief them on, hey, this is what you should have done. You did good. And we're not trying to, hammer them, but we want to say, hey, this may be the approach you should have took. So
Well, that's good. That's good. You have simulations that they can go through to actually learn how to de-escalate situations.
right.
So, what would you say to someone who feels afraid when approached by a police officer?
Mm, well, if you feel afraid, I mean, just 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 be calm. I mean, um, if you're talking about like a traffic stop or just, my suggestion is be calm. I mean, people be nervous, and that's okay to be nervous. I get nervous when the police drive behind me or
Right.
whatever, and I ain't even speeding sometimes.
Yeah.
But I mean, the only thing I tell people just be calm and ask whatever he asks you, just answer the question. I mean, I mean, we're not there to harm you. I mean, for no reason. We're not there to, try to make you feel afraid. But I mean, I know people, or some people are just afraid of people. I had a guy that I think he was walking on the side of the road, and I stopped and I just asked him a question. I said, "Hey, where you trying to go?" Because he didn't need to be walking in that area because it wasn't on no sidewalk or nothing for him to road. He said, "I'm trying to go to work," and I asked him where you work. He said, "Oh, I work this way." I say, "That's the wrong way." I say, "You way away from me." I say, "Hey, get in the car. I'm gonna give you a ride." No, you're gonna take me to jail. I said, "Hey, man, I'm trying to give you a ride. You going way out the way." And he was afraid to get in the car. And I say, "Listen, man, what time you supposed to be?" He say, "I'm already late." I say, I'm gonna give you my car. I say, "I promise you, I'm taking you to work." I say, and I had to like literally like just beg him to get in the car. I'm not gonna do it. But he was afraid. And it might have been his experience he done had with law enforcement. I'm not sure, but he got in, took him to work, gave him my car. Said, "Tell your boss to call me if anything," because he was walking totally the wrong direction. But I mean, all I you just tell people just be calm. You know, it just depends on the situation that, what's going on. But we're not there to harm you. If we there for a certain we come in there, hey, to ask you, hey, what's going on? I'm not trying to approach you in no mean way or whatever the situation is.
So, can you walk us through what's going through an officer's mind during a routine stop?
Um, I guess the first thing I can say is not no routine stop. No stop is the same. People say, "Oh, routine stop." It's never the same stop. Um, you know, I will. Well, in my mind, I can't speak for every officer. I say, when I do a traffic stop or whatever, in my mind, I'm going to approach the car. I'm always going to be looking for my safety, and not just from the person. I'm looking for the car that's coming. Make sure I'm approaching the right way. That and so it's always you're going to have a safety level there, and so when I'm going to that stop or getting out to come talk to them, I'm always aware of my situation. We have things that we do, like people always ask why we touch the back of a car or something. You never know what happened. We touch that, so if something happened to us and they find the car, they can see if we touch it, who what officer. There's a lot of different varieties go in there. But like I say, it's just what type of stop it is. You know, there could be stop where it's stolen vehicle or something. So you treat that in a different way than just, hey, I'm stopping you for speeding.
Hmm.
So, there's I'm gonna just tell you something real. The other day, I was going to a thing they call a stolen recovery. Somebody had got their car stolen. It was put out by Waxahachie, and so they tell us, okay, it's located here at DFW in the parking lot. They sent me the picture to the detective. So normally we go there, we find the car, we get it towed, we let them know, hey, to take it out of the system, we find. But when I got to the car, somebody was in the car. So
Uh-oh.
now it changed the whole different game. I'm drawing my weapon. I get other officers there. So it's a whole different situation what can change your stop. So, what have been like just a normal, oh, okay, we found the car, turned into a different situation. So the level changed, and what was presented to me.
Right, right. So, what are the common misunderstandings civilians have about police procedures?
Um, I think one main one that people think that um, when we do a traffic stop, we try to meet a quota. we we don't get nothing for no traffic stop. We don't get no bonus. There's no quota. If I go out there and make 100 traffic stops that day, I get nothing. I get
I'm
nothing.
sorry. I have said that. I'm like, maybe, like this past weekend, it was so many police officers out, just everywhere. And
Yeah,
one
spring
side
break.
of me felt like, oh, I feel safe. And then the other side of me is like, okay, why is there so many? Are they trying to meet a quota? So thanks for
Well,
clearing
well,
that up.
well, yeah, and like I say, it was spring break week, so they
Mhm.
want you out there more. A lot of kids driving, doing
That makes
stuff. So, but far as I think people think, oh, they trying to meet their quota. I ain't got no quota. I get nothing.
Okay, all right, all right. Let me get back to my question. All right, so my next question is just a second, just a second. All right. What are some of the things people do unintentionally that can escalate a situation?
Um, I think when we make a traffic stop, uh, and we approach the vehicle, and they just automatically like, "What you stop me for?" Just and then they realize, oh, yeah. I mean, you know, the thing I say, just listen to us first when we come up, because we have a thing we call step-and-step violator that we have to introduce ourselves. We ask you for the deal before you just start already condemning us. Oh, yeah, I wasn't speeding. Just hold on, and because that changes the deal. Most of the time with me, if I'm making a traffic stop, I already have my mind made up before I even approach you if I'm gonna give you a warning or not. But when you start going in on me as soon as I get to the car, before I can even talk, now you done changed my mind. I'm
Okay.
probably finna give you a citation,
Okay.
because now you just not even letting me talk. You're automatically condemning me. So now I'm like, okay, you just done changed the old thing. Now I change my mind. Okay, there's a ticket.
Okay. So this is not a question that's on the list. All right.
Hmm.
But how dangerous is it to get out of the car? Like when somebody like, because I did that, and thank goodness. I
Hmm.
think the reason why the police officer didn't feel threatened by me getting out of the car is because when I was getting ready to go into the church parking lot, and then I made the U-turn and the lights came on, and I'm like, I'm not stopping in the middle of the street. I'm gonna pull into
Hmm.
the church. And then immediately jumped out of the car and I said, "Why did you stop me?" So, how dangerous is it to just hop out of the car like
Um, it can be real dangerous. More dangerous at nighttime.
that?
You know, because at nighttime it's a different. People don't realize it's a different crowd out there at night,
Right.
and so getting out of the car, we want you to stay and let us approach because when you get out, we automatically now thinking, hey, what you jumping out for? What are you trying to hide? Or you gonna jump out and do something to us? So, that kind of like just sit and let us get there. Even if you pull in the church parking lot, to stay in your car and let the officer approach and say, hey, I'm coming to my Bible study, uh, you know, and I'm here, but I just want to get somewhere off the road a little more safe. And we understand that some people want to kind of they see a little store up there, pull up there to the store. That's fine to me. Just try because some people don't want to be on the side of the road if they see a little store or something a little closer. But
Okay.
stay in your car, Sheila.
Okay. I'm gonna make sure and never do that again. Never do that again. All right. What is something you wish more people understood about police officers as people?
Um,
Because we don't. A lot of times, people see police officers as police officers and not as just genuine. They're people too.
yeah, that something more that y'all understand is us. I guess, like you say, we're people too. Um, and we're not all bad police. You
Right.
know, we don't like it when an officer do something that tarnish our integrity or something that because that now make me look bad. And that's way in Utah. I have nothing to do with it, but what happened there affects me here in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I want people to understand that, that all officers are not the same. You know, Sometimes, just let the facts come up before you just judge, because sometimes we don't hear all the facts. We don't see everything. We hear it from this person, that person, that person. Now we already came to our conclusion on things. So let's just hear the thing, hear situations, and just understand that we do make mistakes, but some mistakes that might cost you your job or imprisonment. So those are mistakes that we can't make. So that's when you hold us accountable for that. And the department should hold also accountable for that too. But just understand that, you know, if one officer do something, that don't mean the next officer gonna do the same thing. You know, that we're not all bad police because there are bad police that out there doing the wrong thing. So I can't say they're not because there are. I don't work with some, you know, and luckily we don't have them no more and stuff. So
That's good. That's good. So I know you've already shared one positive experience, but can you give me another example of a positive experience where community and law enforcement work together?
um Thanksgiving giveaway. Our
Mm.
at the church,
Yeah.
our Black Police Association, we come there to help. Like last year, They wasn't able to help, but we donated, money to help buy stuff because we went to another church and helped them and stuff like that. So that's something we try to do, not just on Thanksgiving, but they have a lot of other events that the police go into the community and help with kids or whatever the situation be. So, that's a big one there, the church giveaway. And I remember the time that they come, they was like, oh, you know, the one of the presidents, she told me, said, hey, we can't be there this year, but we want to give money and support them where we love what they do at the church, helping people that don't have, so that's one big one right there.
That's good. How can we as communities support officers while also holding accountability? So, how can we support officers while also holding accountability?
Uh, and that kind of go back to um, part of what I was saying, just, just not be so quick to judge the officer on something they do. Let's just hear all the facts. And, when we do hear the fact, and if the facts don't meet what should have happened, yeah, hold that officer accountable. If he was wrong, he was wrong. And you have every right to be upset with that. But, let's kind of sometimes give the facts and make sure we know everything that's going on. Because I'm gonna just say, even sometimes when we see stuff on TV, the the media or whatever don't give everything correctly. We have a deal at work, with our body cameras. Um, I can see people, other videos of certain things happen with officers, and everybody used to go in can see people video. They stopped it that only certain people allowed because we we Monday quarterbacking people on stuff and not knowing the whole situation. We just looking at, so they didn't want that to go until we know everything that happened before we start saying, oh yeah, he shouldn't have did that. He shouldn't have did that. Let's just know all the facts before we do, but if we wrong, hold us accountable,
Yeah,
definitely do that, you know.
yeah. So, what should someone do if they feel they're being treated unfairly during a stop?
Um, like I say, I'm gonna tell you, it's not against the law to record. So if you're getting ready to, most people have their phone up on something most of the time. If getting you see the police finna stop you, put your phone on record. We supposed to have our body camera. Matter of fact, when we turn our lights on in our police car, our body cameras come on. The cameras in our car automatically come on. So we should also should be recording all the time. But you can record your stop and you don't have to hold it in his face. Or I'm recording you, nothing like that. You ain't even gotta say nothing. You can just
Uh
keep it right there in your lap
huh.
and record the conversation. He's saying stuff he's not supposed to be saying or doing stuff he not, you know, if he's gonna give you a ticket, you don't even have to ask for his name because his badge number and his name is going to be on that citation. So
Okay.
you don't, because some people like, well, what's your badge number? What's your name? If you give me a citation, I ain't even got to go to that part. I ain't got to ask. It's already on the paper. But go down. You can call or go down and make a formal complaint, and just stay calm. Don't sit there and argue with him. Let him say what he's gonna say. You don't have to. I tell people when they tell me, oh, I want to complain on the officer, I say go down to the station. Go
Hmm.
to the station, ask for a supervisor, the lieutenant preferable. They can call that officer in, make him download his camera right there, have him waiting. They talk to the person, go look at his camera to see what he did. But I always tell them go to the station so you can talk to somebody in person. You know, but just like I say, just stay calm. Don't get in no argument back and forth because one thing an officer not gonna let you do, he not gonna let you win the argument, even if he's wrong. That's just a police mentality. You
Okay.
arguing with him, he gonna keep going. He not gonna let you be right. So You wasting your time sitting there, keep arguing with it, even though you are right. But don't even waste your time because all it's going to do is escalate the situation. So just stay calm. Okay, this is what you say. Okay, officer. Yes, sir. No, sir. I got your name. You know, you got it on the ticket. If he not gonna give you a ticket, then you can ask, do you have a card on you, sir? He should have a card. And we also, what we do is, even if we don't give you a ticket and we give you a warning, we can give you a verbal, but we document it on our phones that we write the tickets. Or we give you a little card that says, this is not a ticket. It's just a warning, have my name and my badge number on it. So it's for basically for records keeping, if they want to come in and do an audit to make sure I'm not just stopping white people or whatever. They
Mhm.
come in and look at it, say, hey, he's only stopping white people. Or he's only stopping black people. Okay,
Mhm.
we got a pattern here. Something ain't right, you know. So that's what most departments should be doing, you know. But just stay calm. Don't argue with them.
So, what do you say to that person that's contemplating going to the police academy? Maybe they're riding the fence. How could you encourage them?
You know, like I say, I can share my experience. I love my job. I love what I do. Uh, I never had any major problems, you know. And I mean, I think if it's something you really interested in and you in it for the right reason, not so, oh, I can go arrest people. I want to go chase people and that kind of stuff there. You know, you kind of like, you can get yourself in trouble because you're looking to try to do that every time you stop somebody or, you know, you trying to raise the bar. So I mean, but if you're looking in it to really help people and help your community and be a positive person, you know, that, you know, people can go back and say, you know what, Officer Black, man, she really helped me today. You know, I don't know what I would have done without her advice or just helping me get out that jam or whatever the situation. You know, so I'm saying if it's something you really looking into, you know, and it's something you really want to do, I mean, I think it's a great job to have, long as you're doing the right thing and not out there doing the wrong things, you know, because you can get caught up doing the wrong thing. So, you know, but if it's something I think it's a good career and stuff, you know, just like right now we see what our president got some of these law enforcement doing, ICE and stuff like that. That makes it look bad for us. You know, I just say today at work, I was coming through, stepped out, and some people seen me. They, hello, officer. And the couple, they looked at me again, looked at me, kept looking at me. And the lady said, are you ICE? And I said, no, I'm just a regular police officer. I'm not ICE. You know, I don't know because of my uniform. I don't know what it was. She kind of she kind of like got startled, like, oh, he ICE or something. You know, I said, no, I'm not ICE. I'm just a regular police officer because they done made it where now it look hard. It's hard for us because
Yeah.
of what they doing,
Mhm.
and a lot of them are doing it, and they know it's not right what they doing. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
so but I mean, it's a good career. It's a
Yeah.
long career. You know, long you can make it a good long lasting career, and so I think if it's something you're interested in, by all means, go for
Go
it.
for it. Well, I certainly do appreciate you taking this time, allowing us to pick your brain. And I'm telling you, I know for a fact when I see you around, I know I feel safe.
That's
I
good.
feel
That's good.
safe and I don't feel threatened. And I will
Yeah,
take your advice. And really, prayerfully, I won't get stopped again.
yeah,
That's
yeah, yeah,
that part, that part. But in the
yeah.
event that I do, I'll make sure and not get out of
Yeah,
the car and I
just stay in
won't,
your car. Just
yeah, I
stay in your car and
won't
be
argue or
calm.
anything like that.
Yeah, you know,
I'm gonna
hey,
do my
you
part.
know, because you gotta understand, it ain't always for speed. It could have been your tail light that was loud and you didn't even know. And we just stopped and say, hey, your tail light out. I don't know if you knew, but you might want to check it out or something like that. You know, it can be real simple things, and people just automatically thinking, oh, we here to give you a ticket, you know. And I mean, to me, I wrote enough tickets in my career that most of the time I'm getting out warnings anyway, you know.
Mhm,
So, Like I said, we don't get no quota either. See,
Okay.
we don't get no bonus.
Okay. Well, I would definitely keep that in mind. But thank you so much for
Oh,
taking this time to
I'm glad to be here.
speak with
I
me. And
appreciate you
I'm
even thinking about me.
yeah, I'm asking everyone that's watching, please share. You know, the thing of
Yeah.
the premise of Touching You Talk Show is we're spreading the good news. It's not about, bad mouthing anybody or putting ice down or nothing. It's not about any of
Hmm.
that. We
Right.
just want to share the good news and let people know that everybody ain't out there. Every officer is not out there with waving his gun, ready to
Right.
shoot
Right.
you down. It's not like
Right.
that. So share, share, share so they can hear the information that has been spoken tonight. And it is my prayer that everyone will have a great day. This is
And you know something, I will tell you, I will, when we get new laws come up, they come out every September. And if you like say, just say, hey Jay, can we do a quick deal on some new laws? Because we get updates and y'all don't know 'em.
okay.
Y'all don't know the updates. That
Okay.
stuff changes. I mean, I'm gonna just tell you one real quick that a lot of people don't know that, when you get a used car now, it's no paper tags. It's a
Mm,
metal tag. You don't get paper tags no more. And a lot of people didn't know that. You get a metal tag and then you will get another tag, but that's stuff that changes. People don't know that these laws go in updates every September and they don't know the laws, and they think, well, I had them, but it can change and you don't know that stuff.
okay.
So,
All
yeah.
right. So y'all heard it. He's coming back in September. He's coming back to give us some updates, and we will definitely be looking forward to that.
Okay.
Well, thank you
All right. Well,
everyone for
thank you.
joining. And this has been Touching You Talk Show. Have a great day,
You
everyone.
too. You too. Bye bye.